Hello everyone, how's it going? Alright, so we are going to be sculpting Sonic today. I thought I'll take a break from the other character and just sculpt Sonic today. Okay, so let me get started. I'm going to start off with the blocking out of this character, and then we'll see. I'll probably be able to finish it within an hour and 30 minutes. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the face, and I'm just going to block out the face. Okay, so I'm just going to block out the face like so. And from the side, this is really cute Sonic, so I'll just give him a bean shaped face for now, and then we adjust it as we go on. Something like this. I'll define the bean shape a little bit more. Okay, and then from the front view, probably we'll just do something like this. Okay, let me take a look at it from the top view. Hello Genesis, hey, keep it up, you're inspiring me. Hello Genesis, how are you doing? Okay, so let me go back into objects mode, Shift A, mesh. Now adding another round cube for the body. I'll go into edit mode, bring this down. I'll just scale it right here, something like this, and I'll use the grab brush. Hello Kelly, how you doing? I'll just move this up like this, and I also make the body probably like an egg shape. And I'll bring the stomach out a little bit, and for the spikes on the skin we'll use separate objects to block using. I'll just go into edit mode and I'll move this up a bit. This character should be very easy actually to model, but let's see how long it takes. Okay, something like this. I'm just going to do a block out, and then I'll come back and refine the proportions of the character. I'm going to select everything, rotate this way, and now let's block out the legs. I'll probably just use a cylinder for the legs. Shift A, I'll add in a cylinder. I'll scale this down, I'll bring it right here, and I'll just rotate it out a bit, scale this down, also bring this right here. I'll also scale it down here and rotate it like this. Okay, from the side view, I'm going to rotate it this way so that the character can be balanced a bit. It's not really balanced right now, but we'll fix that later on. And then I'll also add a mirror modifier to this. And Sonic is looking a bit too I'm just going to adjust this a little bit, something like this. Okay, and now we should be able to block in the shoes. I'm going to use a round cube. I'll try to just add it from my quick favorite. I'm going to edit mode. I'll bring this here, scale it down somewhere like this, and I'll just immediately add the mirror modifier to this so that I can see how it looks on both legs. I'll rotate this a little bit, and then I'm going to sculpt the shoes. I'll use X symmetry to help me here, and then with the grab brush I'll just pull this out, something like this, and I'll also pull it here. Okay, I actually don't need the symmetry brush, the X symmetry. And let's see, how can we do this part? Probably I'll use another object for that part. I'll just sculpt the bottom of the shoe. I'll use the line project brush, and I'm going to cut off the underside so that it's flat. And then I'll try to make this not too big from the side. S and X, scale it in, and I'll just rotate this a little bit. bring this out, something like this. Might need to scale this tool down a little bit just so I fit the concept a little bit more. Okay, something like this. I'll also scale this down from the y-axis edit mode, GY to move this back. Okay, something like this is pretty nice. Then I'll just keep refining this with the grab brush. And yeah, something like this. I'll go into edit mode and I'll scale down the legs. And from the concept, I think the legs come forward a little bit more. So I'll just select this GY and move them forward. Okay, something like this. I would actually turn this guy to the way the reference is, so I can have a clear understanding of the proportions. Then I'm going to bring this up, and yeah, something like this. I'll also adjust the legs, something like this, and let me also adjust the boots to look nicer from the back view. Something like this. Then I'm going to use probably another round cube, and I'll isolate this and I'll just scale this down. I want to make this part of the boot, so I'll just select this half, exit, scale down, and I'll bring it down here. Also this exit, scale it down, I'll bring it down here, and then let's see from the top. Select this Ctrl plus to select more, and I'm just going to scale this a little bit. Ctrl E, and I'm going to bridge edge loops, and I'll just add in the loop cut here, and I'll isolate back, and you can just bring this down here. Scale this right here. I'm also moving forward. In edit mode, I'll select everything and scale it up. Something like this. Here's Y, I'll scale it on the y-axis, and GY, I'll move this forward. Then I'll just use the grab brush and pull this into place. And let me also add the mirror modifier on this, and I'll select the head as the mirror object. Nice. Then you can even further adjust the shape. I'll use the grab brush and I'll just pull this out. Yes, to have that nice shape right here. And I'll just adjust this from all angles, making sure it looks nice. You can also switch to the boot object and also adjust this now that we have this in place. Something like this. I think the belly needs to be a little bit tinier. I'll just scale it on the Z axis, then I'll move this up. And I'll also move this into the body, and I'll just rotate this a little bit, GY. Okay, something like this. I'll adjust the head a little bit. I'll move this back. Okay, something like this. Let me block out the ears. I'll also use another round cube for this. I'll scale this down, bring it right here. GY to move it in front, so the ears are a bit in front. And then I'll rotate this a little bit, something like this. And I'll add a new modifier before I get started. And then I'll just use the grab brush and put this into place. something like this. Then I'll also bring this out like so, and I'll just use the line project brush and I'll slice this part right here. Okay, looking more like a cat now instead of actually like Sonic. So try to fix that early on in the stage. And I'll just use the polish brush and I'm going to pull down control and I'll just make this side sharp. I'll smooth this side out and I'll also smooth here out too. Okay, now let us block out the spikes on Sonic's back. For this one right here, I'll probably just use the grab brush and just pull out the head, something like this. I'll turn this guy back just for a second, and let me see if doing this is going to work. Okay, something like this, and then I'll use skin modifier, or actually just use another round cube object. I'll take this to the back, edit mode, take it to the back. I'll bring this down here and I'll just use the grab brush and I'll make this into a triangular shape. Something like this. And so this concept is 2D, and we have to somehow translate the forms in this concept into 3D. So yeah, we might have to cheat a little bit, but yeah, let's just keep on going for now. We have to cheat the shapes a little bit from the back view, just so that it matches the concept. And I'll make this like this, and I'll just duplicate this, Shift D, and duplicate it, and I'll bring this out. I'll take this into the head, like this. I'll use the grab brush and pull this side out, and I'll just crease this place. Okay, something like that. Probably we need to blend this back part nicely into the spikes. I actually don't know if these actually have a name. Like, I don't know if there's a name that they call these spikes. I'm just going to call them spikes. Then like this. Okay, so something like that is good for the head, and I'm going to smooth this out. Okay, probably the legs are too bent. I'm just going to edit mode and rotate this like this, yeah, and then I select the shoes and rotate it to, yeah, something like this. And I'll just select this group here, Alt S, and skeleton, also this one, Alt S, skeleton, GG, something like this. And then I'll use the inflate brush and just inflate this out. Okay, something like this is looking good. Let's work on the spikes on the back. I'm also going to probably just duplicate this ones. I'll go from the side view, duplicate this one with Shift D, and I'll scale it down. Before I do that, right click, and I want to set the origin to the, no, not to the 3D cursor, set the origin to geometry, and I'll just scale this down right here. This should be the longest one on the back. Then I'll pull this out with a ground brush, yeah, something like that, and I'll just make sure that this flows nicely into the back. And then I'll just duplicate this one with Shift D, something like this. I'll rotate it a little bit. Okay, I'll just rotate it this way so I can view it from here. Then I'm going to use the grab brush and just pull this into shape. Then I'll also duplicate this one like this. Okay, if you're actually taking a look at it from the back, it will be a different shape. I'll rotate this one like this, and also bring this one right here. GX, and I'll take this back. Okay, shapes are not looking too good right now. We'll work on that later on. I'll rotate this one like this. I'm just looking at this view angle here so that I can have clearer forms from the back. Scale this one down. Okay, and something like this is going to work for now. And I believe we can go into more details, and then we adjust this as you see fit. Okay, and I'm going to increase the image resolution a bit. 0.04 should be fine. I'll just smooth out everything. Okay, and the muzzle of the mount will be somewhere around here. I'll just use the grab brush and pull it out, something like that. And I'll also bring this cheek, this part of the cheek, I'll bring this down, something like that. I'll adjust the body for a bit, something like that. And then I'll just use the crease polish brush. I'll make indications where the eye should be, where the muzzle stops, the nose, somewhere around there. And I'll just use the crease polish brush and draw out the eye. Okay, something like that. So now this actually starts to look like Sonic. But I'm going to adjust this even further. Let's use the grab brush and let's try making the eyes bigger. Something like this. And okay, yeah, that looks good. I'm going to smooth out this eye area. Let's smooth this out. And then I use the crease polish brush again, and I'll go back here like this. And the eyes here are way too up, so they're too up the head. So I'll just use the grab brush and bring this down. Yeah, something like this. And I'll try to make this shape here more rounded, just like it is in the concept. And I'll use the crease polish brush to define that edge of the eye. Sure. Then I'll also mark out right here. There is a clear separation between the muzzle and the eyes. And I'll use the clay shade brush. I'll just add in a bit of volume right here. And I'll smooth this out. I'll use the grab brush and pull this side out. Yeah, something like that. And I'll also do this way. Okay. So the face is taking shape a little bit. Now that we have made adjustments on the face, we probably need to make some other adjustments on the body. So I'll just go into object mode. I'll select all of these. And then I'll scale this down, rotate it a little bit. Okay, something like this. Probably just scale this one up. Okay, something like this is going to work for now. Then you can always come back to adjust it if you need to. I'll rotate this like so. Okay, and definitely I'll scale it on the wire this just so that it's long like the reference, and I'll bring this down. I'll use the grab brush and pull this down. And you can also adjust this from the front view. Okay, and let me adjust this a little bit. Yeah, so this is looking nice right now. Then I'll just smooth out these areas here, and probably I'll take this, use the grab brush, actually use the snake hook brush. I'll just pull this out a little bit more, and then I'll adjust this to look nice. Okay, so if you guys like have any questions about my workflow, you can just feel free to ask. Yeah, okay, I'm going to use the grab brush and pull this to the back, and sculpt this out. And yeah, we need to rotate the head facing back. So I'll just select all of this. I'll select the head as the active object, and okay, so since the mirror modifier on this was connected to the head, let's connect it to the body instead. I'll select this, and then I'll just rotate this so that it can make it look in the direction of the concept. Something like this. Okay, the head is now off to the side from this angle, so I'll just rotate it to make it look nice, something like this. Okay, and then I'll select this, go into sculpt mode, I'll increase the mesh resolution, and then I'll mesh this and smooth it out a little bit. Then I'll try to adjust the shapes to follow what I have on the reference. I'll move this down, and I'll turn off asymmetry for now. I'll just pull this here this way, something like this. I'll go back to the head object, and I'll bring this up. Then I'm going to adjust this like this. Okay, something like that, and I'll also do the same for the lower one. I'll go into sculpt mode, remesh this 0.03, Ctrl R to remesh, and then I'll just sculpt it over here. And then I'll turn off asymmetry, and I'll adjust this also. So this is going to look probably not the best from this angle, but nobody's going to see that angle, so it's fine. I'm going to use the script brush, and I'll just plane out the under so that it's flat on the under here. Shift T or the script brush, and you can actually see the brush I'm using right here. And I'm going to use the grab brush, and I'll just pull this something like this, and then I'll just smooth everything out. Okay, I'll also adjust this just to fit into the head a little bit more. Then I'll switch back to the head objects, and I'll just make sure everything flows nicely into each other too. Something like this. I'll use the clay shoes brush. I'll just add in a bit of volume right here. and I want this one to be the biggest. Just use the grab brush and pull this out, something like this. Okay, and yeah, something like this is going to be fine. Then also, let's also refine the belly or increase the mesh resolution, and I'm going to remesh this. Hello voltage vortex hiding. Okay, and then I'm going to smooth this out, and also do the same for these spikes at the back. Ctrl R to remesh this, also Ctrl R to remesh this. I should enable the screencast. Okay, let me do that. Screencast maybe, so you can see which buttons I'm pressing. Okay, I press a lot of buttons, so my navigation, just in case you're wondering, like I'm pressing a lot of buttons, my navigation is set to if I go to inputs, I'm using the emulate 3 button mouse, so they have to press like a lot of shortcuts to move around to navigate, and that's because I'm using setting is because I'm using a pen tablet. You don't really need to use it if you're using a pen tablet, but I just like it. I've gotten used to it, so yeah. Just don't mind the buttons, pressing a lot of buttons. Shift Alt to pan, Control Alt to zoom, and then Alt and left click is to orbit. Okay. Another question: do you just try learning? Do good. Just try learning my character in Blender, trying to get better with it. But damn, I have bad topology with the jawline. Everything is messed up. Are you trying to voltage? Are you trying to sculpt, or you're trying to retopologize? So let me know. Are you trying to like sculpt your character, or you're trying to, or you've already sculpted but you're trying to retopologize? Okay, back to Sonic. I'm going to use the grab brush. I'll pull this out, and I'm going to bring this out like so. Then also this one, I'm just adjusting this to follow the reference, and then I would also adjust this last one. Probably I'll bend this one up, and then I'll bring this like this. Okay, and then yeah, something like this is fine. I'll remesh this, Ctrl R, and then I'll just smooth it out. And some of these spikes are overlapping each other, from as you can see from the concept. So I will just use the grab brush. I'll make this one overlap so that when we blend everything together, it can just look nicer from this view at least. And I'll also bring this up here, something like that. So this should look good for now. Voltage vortex is so hard. Sculpting is not actually hard. There are just some like few things that if you do, you'll be able to like sculpt anything you want. And those few things, I'll just mention a few of them. You just need to like block out before sculpting. So like what I'm doing here, if you go back to the beginning part of this video, so that was the blocking out stage that I did. And blocking out stage is like very important when you're sculpting any character, like any character at all. If you need like to, maybe you're sculpting a face and you need to block out the eyelids and the nose and the lips like separate, just go ahead and do that. If you're blocking out to like give you a foundation to work off of, so blocking out is an important part of sculpting that I always like to emphasize if you're trying to learn how to sculpt. So just try blocking out before jumping into the details, and yeah, you should have a much better time sculpting. and then you find that sculpting is not kind of hard. Okay, and then I just use the spray brush. I'm playing this out, and I'm going to smooth this over. Okay, so the belly on this guy up here on the concept, I'm going to make it a lot more rounded here. I'll use the grab brush, and then yeah, I'll bring this out like so, and I'll probably make this even smaller. Yeah, exactly like this. And I'll bring this in a little bit. For the legs, probably I'll spread them apart. I'll just Ctrl A, apply. Actually, right click, set origin to geometry, and the mirror is going to fall apart. That's actually, let me just remove some of these mirror modifiers. I remove this one, also get rid of this one. Then I'm going to use Alt D to duplicate this. Access my cursor to the world origin. Now mirror this to the x-axis. Ctrl M and X to mirror to the x-axis. And then you can rotate this independently of this other one. I'll just rotate it like this and move it out a bit. And I'll also do the same here. Yeah, something like this, and I'll put this into here, and then I'm going to repeat like this. Okay, so I used Alt D to duplicate these two meshes, so that in case I come here and sculpt, the changes are still going to happen on this one. So Alt D instead of Shift D, and then I'm going to add in the nose. And I'll just do that with another round cube. I'm going to copy the location of this. Okay, I need an add-on for that, and the add-on is called copy attributes, not this one. I'll go to get extensions and search for the copy attributes here and install this. Okay, and if I select this object and this object, Ctrl C, I can copy the rotation to this one, and I'm also going to Ctrl C, copy the location. Okay, and I'm going to scale this down, and I'll move it in its local axis like here. Okay, now you can use the sculpt brushes and make this into the nose shape. So you can just pull this with the grab brush like this and you might need to scale this down. Alt S. I'm going to shrink it a little bit, and the tip is much rounded. It's not actually pointy like this. I'm just going to do this something like this. Okay, and also from this view, try to make that look nicer. And GYY, I'm going to move it back into the face, and I'll shade this mix. Actually, I'll just rotate it to the way it is in the concept. I'll do this in, I have to do this in object mode. Alright, click set origin to 3D cursor, and I'll add this to my no, not origin to 3D cursor, origin to geometry. I will remove this from my quick favorites, and now you can just press Q and then origin to geometry, and then I'm going to rotate this, face it this way, and I'm going to scale it down. I'll turn off asymmetry in edit mode for now. Actually, I don't need to turn that off. I'm going to object mode. I'll rotate this and I'll bring it this way into the face, something like this. And yeah, we can actually start adding in some color. I'll just change this to attributes, and then under viewport display, I'm going to change the color all the way to black, and I'll also make sure viewports that the attribute is selected right here. Okay, and I'm going to rotate this a little bit, something like this, and you can go back to work on the piece a bit more. I'm going to use the crease polish brush, and I'll just actually mark out the mouth, where the mouth would be, and then I'll use the clay shoes brush and I'll add in some more volume to this one right here. And then I'll use the crease polish brush and I'll do this like so. Okay, and I'm going to model in the eyes. Actually, I'll use the simple modeling to model in the eyes. Bring my 3D cursor right here, then I'll add in a plane. I'll rotate this. Okay, I need to rotate that on the y-axis by 90 degrees, scale it down, and I'll turn on face project, face snapping, and if I make sure to turn this on, and then I'm going to bring this right here. Okay, something like that. So I'm adding some other loops here too. Control B, and something like this should work. I'm going to add a solidify modifier to this. Solidify, and change the thickness. Take this down a little more. Then I'll duplicate this Shift D, and then I'll scale this down on itself, something like this. And then I'm going to reduce the thickness of this solidify modifier. Okay, and now we can add in colors to this. I'll make this completely black, and then I'll color this in like a green, not so saturated green, something like this. Yeah, then I'll just adjust the shape in sculpt mode. Something like this. And I'm looking at it from this view. I want it to look nice from there, so I'll just switch to this one. I'll probably move this one this way. Yeah, something like this. And then I can select this to Shift D. I'm going to duplicate it to the other eye, and I'll make sure that it's looking at you. And then I'll bring this right here, and then I'll snap this also. I'll just hide this one first of all. I'll snap this right here, SY, and you can place this right here on hide, and then you can snap this right here. This is probably not the most efficient way of modeling this eye, but yeah, we just do it like this for now. Something like this. And I'll make this into here. Then I'll use the sculpting brush to adjust this. Okay, I think now we can start adding in colors. Before I do that, I'll increase my remesh resolution a bit. Control R. Then I'll just clean up the shapes here. With the crease polish brush, I'll just go over this eye like so. And then I'll smooth here out. Something like this is nice. And I'll just smooth out this edge here. Okay, yeah, something like that. And I'll also crease this space right here. and I'll start adding colors so I can see how this is looking. I'm going to use the paint brush in sculpt mode, and I'm going to choose a blue color. Hopefully I'm able to choose the right color and try color picking this. Oh. And I can't color pick from Puree, unfortunately. I can't color pick from Puree, so I'll just try to pick the correct colors from here, and then I'm just going to paint this in. Yeah, that looks like the right color. I'll switch back to the white color, and then I'll just paint over the eyes. Something like this. And now I'm going to use the crease polish brush. Now that we have the colors in place, we can actually see some of the things that we need to change, I need to improve on. I'll use the crease polish brush and I'll just mark out here. I'll use the grab brush and I'll just make this sharper right here. Nice. And I definitely have to adjust the eyes. I don't like the way they are right now. Let's probably scale this up, bring this right here. I want to do the same here, scale this up and bring this right here. And I'm also going to increase the mesh resolution. And G mode, you can color pick, just click color on the ref after the eyedropper. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Let me try to do it. So I select the eyedropper, and then yeah, doesn't work. I'm currently clicking on Puree, but it's not working. Doesn't seem to work. Probably I'm still doing it wrong, but I don't know. Doesn't work. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just try to eyeball the right colors, and then let me try to choose the skin color. And yeah, we've actually not added the hands. Completely forgot about the hands, so we're going to add those in. For now, I'll just color this in. Also color in the ear. And I'll increase the mesh resolution on the ear. And then I'll smooth this out. Then I'll just make a little shape for the ear with the crease polish brush. Then I'll crease this in like so. Something like this. I'll increase the mesh resolution on the ear. Control R. And then I'll just make this shape, this inside of the ear, a little bit more defined. Like that. And then I'll smooth this out. Nice. I'll use the grab brush and I'll just pull this closer to the edge of the ear. Then let's color this in. Then we see how that looks. I'll try to choose the right colors. Yeah, this one should be fine. And oh no, that's not something. This. And then I'll just go by it. Like so. And then I'll also paint in the mouth. This doesn't seem like the right color. I'll reduce the saturation, yeah. Yeah, something like this. Then I'll just go over this side all the way to the under. Yeah, that looks like the right color now. Then I'll use the crease polish brush and I'll just go over here like this. And yeah, this character doesn't look good from this angle, but we're only going to view it from this angle, so that's all we need to bother about right now. Looks so weird from this other angle. I'm just going to paint in here, and then I'll also paint in the belly and these spikes at the back and the feet, and this part of the shoe is white. So I'll probably just fill this up. Okay, G mode, maybe it changed because I'm still in the 4.5.1 and it is probably, maybe it's changed. I don't know. Sometimes it actually used to work when I color pick from Pure. Sometimes it also doesn't work. So I don't know what the problem could be right now. So I'm just going to eyeball the colors instead. And I'll just adjust these shoes before I start adding color to the shoes. And I'm going to, yeah, something like this. Okay, and I'm going to paint in the shoes. I'll increase the image resolution if I do that. And I'll remesh this and I'll just copy over it. And instead of adding more resolution to this, I'll probably just use the subdivision surface modifier instead. Ctrl 2 to add in a subdivision surface modifier. Then I'll shape this smooth. Alt S to increase, yeah, the size, something like that. Then I'll just adjust this to make sure it looks nice from every angle. Okay, and yeah, this looks good from this view. I'm going to elongate the shoe a little bit, something like that, and then I'm going to choose, no, from here I'm going to choose a red color, dark red, something like this, and then I'm going to paint this in. And yeah, I just like the right color. I'll just bring this up a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Should be fine. And then for this stuff on the shoe, I'll probably just use simple modeling to model that in. Before we continue, I want to add in the hands. And the way I'm going to do the hands, I'm going to use a skin modifier for the hands. So I'll add in a plane. I'll match everything at the center. I'm just going to extrude this on the x-axis like so, and then I'm going to add a skin modifier, and I'll also add a subdivision surface modifier. Okay, and Ctrl A to shrink this down. I'll move this around here, and I'll also move it to the front. And now we can start shaping this nicely. I can add in another loop cut here. Ctrl R to add in another loop cut. Then we can start to put this hand into place. Ctrl A, probably I'll scale it down a little bit. Yeah, something like this. And I also use the same techniques for the fingers. Before I continue, I'll just select the colors from here, copy it, Ctrl C, and then I'll paste it right here, Ctrl V, and paste that. Then we can turn on smooth shading. You see, yeah, that color works. I'm going to move it up here, and then I'll just duplicate this for the gloves, right here. Alt S, we can scale this up, and S, I'm going to scale it down. Something like this, and then we can use the skin modifier again. I'm going to duplicate this, E to extrude, and I'm going to separate this one by selection. I'm going to select this mark root, and now you should be able to extrude the hands from here. I'm going to extrude this for the thumb, and I also change the color to white. So I'll pose this thumb like this, and then I'll extrude for the other fingers from right here. It's looking weird right now, but that's completely fine. You can just keep on adjusting this. You can select this one, actually Ctrl A to increase the size. Also do the same here. And then we're still going to sculpt on this, so to look better when we sculpt on it. And then I'll just pose these fingers a little bit. I'll scale this down, Ctrl A. And this is looking horrible, but that's fine. I'm going to fix it up when we start to sculpt on it. It's actually been a long time I used the skin modifier to block out the hands. So if this doesn't work out, I'll probably just use round cubes instead. Something like this. I'll go from the front view and origin to geometry, and I'll just rotate this a little bit, bring it down, rotate this like this, yeah, something like this. Then bring this up, and I'm just trying to get this into a shape that looks nice. Adding, okay. The skin modifier is going to give me issues with the hands. Probably I'll just use it for just the fingers. Then for the hands, I will do something. For the palm, I'll do something different instead. I'll mark this as roots, and I'll just use this as the fingers instead. And then I'll delete this part. I'm adding a round tree, bring this right here, scale it down. And SZ, scale it from the Z axis. Okay, yeah, that really looks much better. Then we can just adjust these fingers to fit the hand. Yeah, something like this. Then I would adjust with the grab brush. I'm going to adjust this. Yeah, this looks much better than what we had before. Then just select this overall and adjust them. something like this, and I'll adjust the finger, the hand, what's it called? Yeah, the hand. And then I'll rotate it this way. Probably scale this down. Okay, scale this down. Okay, I'm going to paint on the belly. Select that color, and then I'll just paint in the belly. Something like this. I think it's even back a little bit more so that I can see it from here. Something like this, and I'll just adjust the way the legs, probably, yeah, I'll adjust the way the legs looks right now. And I'll just delete these eyes for now. Probably we should just paint them in instead of using another mesh to represent them. Probably just paint them in. Should look nicer. I'll smooth this out. And then I'm going to start merging some of this together. So now I'm going to merge the ear with the head. I'll select the ear, select the head, Ctrl G to join them. Also make sure to apply any modifiers you have on them. Ctrl G to join them. And then I'm going to remesh this together. 0.01 R. And then I'll use the clay shape brush and smooth everything out. Okay, something like this. I'm adding some volume on the side of Sonic's face. Then I'll just smooth this out. Then you can use the grab brush. I just want to make this side rounded. So, and then I'll use the colors. I'll paint this. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Then let me try using paints just to paint the eyes instead of the mesh. And I'll just paint the eye like this in terms of edge symmetry. Yeah, that looks much nicer. Probably choose a darker green, little less saturated. And I would also do the same on the other side. And try to make this equal sizes. Okay, nice. And then I'll also just clean up the shapes around it. Okay, someone asked question, is this your income source or do you have a job or investment? Yeah, this is my income source. I'm a 3D character artist. I freelance and I'm also making YouTube videos. And I also have a mentorship program. So yeah, this is my job. I'm a 3D character artist. I do freelance and also from the mentorship program and also from YouTube. So yeah, this is my job. And I'm just going to Bring this like that, and I'm going to use the grab brush to pull this side down. I'll make sure asymmetry is turned back on. Yeah, I thought this would be much easier to sculpt. The Sonic is looking weird. We're going to fix him up. Let me merge these through G to join, and then I'm going to increase the mesh resolution, not too much, and that should be fine. And then I'm going to use the clay shift brush, and I'm just going to something like this, and let's move this out. Now adding even more volume here. I just want everything to be like flush to here, around here, and then I'll use the grab brush to pull this out. Then I'll just smooth this out. Currently asymmetry is turned on. We don't really want that, but the one is going to see that side, so it's fine. I'll just smooth this out. Then I'll make grab brush. I'll use the grab brush, just make this a little bit more spiky at the end. So J Moon, why are you actually asking that question? Do you have a job yourself, or like are you also a 3D character artist, or you have an investment somewhere? Let me know. Okay, and you can use the clay shape brush, sculpt this, and then I'll smooth it out. And then I want to adjust the shapes down here. I'm just going to use the grab brush. Okay, and then I'll select the head. Or I'll just rotate this a little bit more and rotate it down. Yeah, something like this. I'll just bring it here. Okay, that's fine. Definitely need to adjust the eyes a little bit. I'll bring this down, and I'll make here more rounded. And I will use the crease polish brush and just go over the edge of the eyes. Make it sharp like this. And I'm going to use the paint brush. Select a black color here, turn off asymmetry for now. I'm just painting the iris and pupil, yeah. And then I'll also do the same here. I like the way this eye is looking. I'll just paint out this one. Then I'll do it over again. I'm going to select this color here, and I'll just paint right here. Something like that. Then I can choose a black color. Then I can paint in the iris. Okay, something like this. And I'm going to select all of these, and I'll move it. Make sure to select the choose 3, and I'll move this forward in this, and I'm going to change this back to mask up shading. I'll bring this down here. Yeah, then I'll scale the shoes up a little bit. I'll just rotate them out. Yeah, something like this. Our Sonic is looking a bit nicer. Yeah, the view that we look at, it's going to matter a lot. So I'm just going to use the grab brush, go into sculpt mode, and then I'm going to refine this a lot more. I'll also use the clay fuse brush, adding some volume here, and then I'll smooth this out. Something like this. And I'll just also smooth this out like this. Okay, I am an artist that freelance, especially in 2D. For 3D, I'm still trying, and YouTube is a hard nut to crack. 4,000 watch hours is a nightmare. I'm also looking into investments like compounding shares. Okay, so you're a freelancer, 2D. Yeah, that's actually nice. Yeah, YouTube is a bit difficult. The thing that actually helped me when to get the 4,000 hours of watch time was the masterclass. So like the 4-hour long masterclass. I just only got monetized on YouTube this year. So like not much money I get from YouTube. But like, yeah, it's nice to be monetized on YouTube. But the thing that helped me get monetized was the masterclass. Yeah, so that 4 hours of masterclass, I put in a lot of work into that masterclass. I wasn't expecting much, but yeah, it just happened. So yeah, probably make longer videos and let's try to post more consistent. I'm not a YouTube expert. Like you said, it's hard to crack, but yeah, just try, keep on trying. Something will click one of these days. Okay, and we're going to bring this forward. Something like this. I don't like the shape of the eye on this side, so I'm just going to adjust it from this view. And then Shift C, I'm going to use the crease polish brush, and I'm going to go over the eyes, yeah, a bit more. That's looking much nicer than what we had before. And very funny looking at the skull from this angle. Okay, I'm just going to clean up the hands a little bit. I'll probably not even join the fingers with the hands. Just clean it up a little bit. And I'll shade that smooth. Okay, I'll adjust the nose a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Then I'll draw on the mouth with using the paint. Select this color right here. Shift X to sample a color. Then I'll just choose something like this. And I'll try to draw the mouth neatly. I choose a lighter color. And yeah, something like this. Let me try using another brush. The paint hard. yeah, pressure sensitivity. That's not working where I want it to. Something like this. Then I would use this brush. I'll just use the color and go by it a little bit. Okay, someone ICG. This will be 2D looks. I don't know what that means, but yeah, we're only going to view it from this 2D view. So you won't see it from here. I'll never show anybody it's from here because it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look good from here. So we only view it from here. So this part is the part I'm focusing on. This is just the scope to practice. I probably won't post this. I guess I'm posting it on YouTube. I'll show you it, but yeah, I won't post it like on Instagram. And oh, I already spent over an hour here, so my time is running out, but I'll just continue a little bit. My time has run out. I'll just keep on working on this for a little bit. Then I'll spread this leg out. Also do the same for this other leg. I'll bring this down. And then I'll use the line project brush and I'll just slice this so that I can be straight. Something like this. I'll apply the steel of this. Okay, it can't actually. This should be fine. Something like this. Nice. And I'll just merge all of these to the body. Ctrl G to merge them. And then I'll just sculpt on just the body. I'll increase the image resolution 0.09, and then I'll turn off X symmetry and then use the clay shape brush to add in some volume right here. And just adding in volume so that this can transition nicely into here. And I'll smooth this out. Hold down Shift and then I'll smooth it out. And I'll also smooth it out here. Bring this up a bit. Then you can use the crease polish brush and make the separation between these two. Okay, and let me model this stuff on the shoe. Shift A, mesh, adding a plane, and I'll just scale this and bring this down here. And I'll turn on snapping, and I'll just extrude over this side. and bring it right here. Scale this up, and then I'll add in a little bit right here. And then I'll bring this right here. Okay. I'll add a solidify modifier to this. And definitely need to increase the thickness. Then I'll just use the grab brush, and then I'm going to put this into a nicer shape. Okay, this is nice. I'm going to have to probably leave this on, like leave the stream right now because I have to go. But I'm going to complete this sculpt. And if you want to see the final results, you see it in the Discord server. I'll still post it probably today to be on the Discord server. Okay, and then I'll just shade this smooth, and let me see. So Sonic is looking a bit hungry right now, so I'll try to fix some of this up. The face, I'll try to fix up the shapes on the face just to make it look nicer. So yeah, I'm going to call it a day for the stream, and then if you want to see the final results, join the Discord. The link is in the description. I believe most of you guys are coming from the Discord already, so you can just join the Discord. I'll post the final result there today. Okay, all right, so yeah, I'm going to call it here for now. If you want to see these final results, join the Discord. Before I go, any other questions before I leave? Let me see. If there are no other questions, you guys have a nice day. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the Discord server, and I'll also probably stream next week. Okay, actually, before I go, I will show you the character we've been working on the other live streams. Let me save this. Sonic, and let me open up the other characters that we're working on in the other live streams. I'll just show you how far it takes. Okay, so it doesn't look like much has happened on the character, but I did a lot actually since the last stream. I just turn on some of these, turn on the braids. Oh, why is that not working? Okay, I have to unmute this. Okay, so this is the character. So what is left now is posing the character and putting it in the environment. I'll probably be done with this project by next week. I know I said that last week, but yeah, I'll probably be done with it next week. The rig and everything is in place. Let me show you how the rig is working. I just hide the hair so it doesn't slow down the rig. So the rig, and oh, am I on the wrong file? Okay, yes, I'm on the wrong file actually. Yes, this one instead. Okay, so I added, the clothes is now printed to the rig. The clothes is still clipping, but that's completely fine. I'm going to use cloth simulation to fix this when I finish posing the character, so that's fine for now. But yeah, this is where the character is at. Okay, so I'm going to see you guys next week Wednesday when I come live. We will work on this character next week Wednesday. Alright, I'm going to see you guys in a bit. Bye bye.